We're joined now by Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine official, Brian Alcock. Brian, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Claire.
Brian, the department's online clinics for basic payment applications are up and running currently across the country. What has the turnout been like at the clinics, and I suppose who are you trying to target with the clinics?
Yeah, turnout has been good so far, Claire. We receive 130,000 applications each year. We're targeting, I suppose, people who maybe are struggling to maybe find somebody to do it for them. Maybe a family member or something is not available. So we're there if anybody is struggling to get their application in online, call into us in our clinics. We had over 100 attended our clinic in Cavan earlier this week, so turnout has been quite good. It's in line with what we saw last year.
So the clinic started earlier this month, and you have how many have you carried out so far?
Yeah, so we've done about 9 or 10 clinics so far. We started on the 4th of April in Longford, and we'll be continuing right up to the closing date of May 15th. Also, we're available in our office in Portlaoise, business hours every single day, every working day up until then.
Okay, so Brian, last year the BPS was made mandatory online. So just reflecting back on last year when you ran the clinics, what was the turnout like last year, and what were kind of some of the key challenges that you came across last year?
Yeah, I suppose for the vast majority of applicants, Claire, they don't need to come near us. They're comfortable doing it themselves, or they have an agricultural advisor, and we're not here to replace those. It's for those who are struggling, maybe need a little bit of support. So turnout would have been a kind of, I suppose, geared towards the end of the campaign last year. We would have seen numbers increase. We're seeing it a little leveled out more this year, so people are more aware. I suppose that's reflective of the amount of communication we did around this last year to support farmers. These payments are vitally important, and we want to make sure that everybody applies.
And then some of the common pitfalls or the common challenges that you identified throughout the course of the campaign last year.
I suppose last year, the main thing, I suppose, was getting people registered. A lot of people hadn't registered for online services. So that's a process that you need a couple of details with you, and we can walk you through at the clinics. If you're a first-time applicant this year, you get registered. It's similar for anyone who's used online banking. You have a username, a password, and a 7-digit code. So we will generate those and give them to you. So that was a big issue last year. We're not seeing that as much this year. People may have forgotten their passwords or codes. We can reissue them when they come to us. The application itself, one of the biggest issues is maybe not ticking for the Area of Natural Constraints scheme, the old disadvantaged area. And we would see a lot of farmers maybe not ticking it. We've built in some functionality in the scheme in the system that if we think you should be ticking it, we will alert you to it and you can tick it then and go on. Other than that, the system itself, if you're making no changes, is very simple to use. You could be in and out in about 2 minutes.
Has broadband been an issue for the online application process? Obviously, that is a recurrent problem in rural areas. There's still a lot of black spots out there, and huge delays, as we're all too familiar with the rollout of high-powered, high-fibre broadband services. Has that been an issue for the application process for the BPS for some farmers and some farm families?
I suppose the beauty of the system is that it's so simple to use that if you have a smartphone now, you can actually log in, do your application on your smartphone. So if on your farm you're suffering a broadband issue, the next time you're in town, you could log in your phone and do your application and have it done in 2 minutes. Again, if you're struggling, come to ourselves in the clinics and we'll help you out.
What are the advantages of the online system at farm level and at department level compared to the paper system?
I suppose for the farmer, the obvious advantages are that on a paper form, you could forget to sign it. You could forget to put in a claimed area. You could forget to nominate your crop type. None of those things are possible with the online system. It won't let you progress through the pages unless you've done the mandatory issues. For the department, getting these all in online means we can process them quicker. We saw the benefit in that in the increase in payments on the 16th of October last year. For the farmer, the biggest advantage is probably the advent of preliminary checks for online applicants. And this was brought in 2016 by Commissioner Hogan, and it allows us as a department to notify farmers of certain errors early in June and gives the farmer a chance to come back to us and correct those without a penalty. So last year, given 130,000 online applications, we saw 10,300 farmers eligible for these preliminary checks. and over 5,000 dual claims were avoided because of them. And they can generate significant penalties where somebody absentmindedly forgets to delete off a parcel from their application because they've rented it out.
So Brian, what can farmers expect from these clinics? What supports are available to them once they get inside the door?
Okay, so if you visit one of our clinics, there'll be 6 staff members there sitting with laptops. We can register you. We can talk you through how to do your application. We won't do your application for you. We will show you how to do the application and you can submit it yourself. If you need to do an online transfer of entitlements, that's also available, or apply for the National Reserve or Young Farmer Scheme. We'll have staff members who can guide you through that process. We'll sit you down, talk you through the screens and show you how it works and help you submit there and then.
And Brian, what do farmers need to bring with them before going to the clinics? What boxes do they need to tick before they go out the door?
Okay, so I suppose if you registered last year, bring your registration details with you, your username, your PAC and your password. Don't worry if you don't have them, we can sort you out there and then, but you must bring photo ID with you to verify that you are the person who has the herd number.
And finally, Brian, where are the clinics happening next and how can farmers just find out the dates and locations?
Okay, so we have a number of dates right up to the 15th of May closing date. The details will be on the department's website. I think you've published them yourselves, Claire. We have written to certain farmers who visited us last year with a list of all these clinics. Check the local papers, the adverts are in those and in the national media as well.
Brian, thanks very much for coming in to us. We'll leave it there.